Hello and welcome to this 20k subscriber Ask Me Anything video. My name is Paul, but I'm also known as a Vox in the Void. I narrate Warhammer short stories but also have an interest in classic literature and Lovecraftian horror. It has always been my focus to work alongside community authors to create audio dramas that promote their talent and passion. Thank you for being a part of this journey with me. Warrior Tier, another fantastic channel on YouTube, asked me, at what age and how did you get into 40k? My love for the Warhammer universe started immediately when I first saw an issue of White Dwarf magazine in my local village newsagents when I was about 10 years old. I remember being awestruck by the cover art and instantly becoming hooked on the aesthetic of the universe. A good friend of mine at the time received Space Crusade for his birthday around a year later, and we spent hours playing the game and studying the miniatures. The live-action advert for the game was also a turning point for me. Seeing giant space marines stomping through a dingy starship shooting at rubber-suited gene stealers was the closest thing I had to watching Aliens. From there, it was only a matter of time before my parents began to purchase Warhammer products for my birthdays and Christmases, starting with the Warhammer Fantasy Battles book, and then on to epic-scale minis of Imperial Guard, to eventually a Dark Angels box set. I have a lot to thank my parents for when it comes to funding my plastic crack habit. Sadwings Raging on YouTube asks, what is your work background? I find you can tell a lot about who someone is by what jobs they had. Who is Vox in the Void? For most of my 20s, I held jobs that required minimal responsibility. All I needed was enough money for rent and food, and allowed the time for me to follow my dreams of making it big time with my band. Safe to say those dreams fizzled out, and it was time to really knuckle down and think of a career. A family friend worked at a local school and asked if I wanted to apply for a job as a teaching assistant. I fell in love with working in that setting, and realised very quickly that this would be my focus for the rest of my life. 2 years after working at the mainstream school, I moved to a specialist college and have been there for the last 13 years, working as a drama tutor for young adults with learning disabilities. My friend and talented author Todd Townsend asks on YouTube, do you have a vetting process when it comes to community fiction? Have you ever had to reject a piece of fiction sent to you by a fan? To say I've been extremely lucky with the caliber of authors I've worked with would be the biggest understatement of the millennia. I've definitely had pieces sent to me that I feel wouldn't suit my narrating style or the overall vibe of the channel, but nothing that I would consider bad writing at all. I began the channel 2 years ago with searching for suitable fan-written pieces on sites such as Reddit and fanfiction.net, but a huge proportion of works I came across were either crossover stories or plain not safe for work smut. That all changed when I found the wonderfully talented Karak Norn Clansman and his absolutely incredible take on the Warhammer universe, accompanied by his stellar artwork that instantly conjured up memories of the rogue trader era of 40k. I reached out to him, and he was more than happy for me to adapt his work into audio format. I will occasionally post messages on forums and community boards to gauge interest, but I have built on a reliable and professional stable of fan authors over the years who deliver gold every time. Broken Valley asks on YouTube, will you do stories or are you interested in telling stories with a reoccurring character, such as continuing Crixus from Waking Dogs, or Gav and Bob? Or do you personally prefer new characters and one-off stories? It feels like something special happens when people ask this question. It means that the author did such an incredible job with their writing that the audience are genuinely sad when their story ends. I get asked this question a lot, whether we'll see some fan favourites again grace the channel, and I understand why sometimes the authors are reluctant to bring them back, sometimes from the dead. I have personally penned 2 stories for the channel, and I enjoy the fact that they are standalone pieces. Short vignettes that do not require a follow-up and potential watering down of the characters and setting. The only story that I think has the chance of being serialised successfully on a Vox in the Void is the ongoing saga of Gav Smith, Ogrin, and the Emperor's Best Boy. The original author left it open for others to create continuing story arcs, and I have recently commissioned the wonderfully talented Neal, litherland, author of Waking Dogs and Field Test, to continue the Ogrin's tales in the Inquisition. Metal Murderer asks on YouTube, any plans or interest in doing more long-form narration and/or unofficial audiobooks on the channel? I wouldn't say never, but with full-time work and a family to think about, the short to mid-form narration suits my lifestyle just fine at the moment. I like the idea of combining my short stories together into collections in the future, or possibly uploading them as podcasts so the audience can listen without interruptions when painting or commuting. which I have heard is a popular time to listen to my channel. Joseph Mercer on YouTube asks, will you do any future writing challenges? And out of all the 40k content creators on YouTube, who are your favourites? Due to the success and interest of recent writing challenges, I most definitely plan to post more competitions for the channel. Halloween writing challenges lends itself well to the 40k setting, but it would be really interesting to see what the writing community could come up with for the holiday season. Stay tuned. The competitions have also been a fantastic way to learn about new authors and aid with building the channel and the Discord community further, with writers coming together to talk about their stories and to give constructive criticism and advice. If you're interested in writing 40k stories and you think this would benefit your talent, then head over to the Discord. As for my favourite 40k content creator, I may be a little biased, as I have worked with him consistently for over a year, but I'm going to say the Amber King. I don't think there's anyone more dedicated to bringing the lore to life, and has always been so productive when promoting other voice actors and channels. I find it difficult recording and editing longer form narrations, but this man releases videos nearly 3 hours in length, full of information and lore that has brought the Warhammer community closer together. The amount of research and time this man puts into every one of his deep dive videos is staggering. I cannot recommend him enough if you're getting into 40k, or just want to learn something new about your favourite Primarch or character from the universe. Dakota Huffman and the Wolf Poet on YouTube asked a similar question. Does the channel interfere with home life, and have you struck a healthy balance? And also, does your kid think it's cool? Juggling family life, leisure and work is difficult at the best of times for a vast majority of people. I try and time my narration work for when it won't interfere with spending time with the family at home, but it can bleed over occasionally, especially when deadlines are approaching, or I have a particularly intricate narration full of sound effects that therefore needs extra time dedicated. I am blessed to have such an understanding partner when it comes to these moments, and she has been a constant form of support and encouragement since day one, even taken an interest in learning about the lore and the history of my enjoyment of Warhammer. My daughter, like most children of this generation, loves the fact that I am on YouTube, but has absolutely zero interest in the themes or universes that I read about. I'm trying, but it's proving increasingly more difficult as she is fast approaching her teenage years. She is a very talented young actress though, so I'm sure I can rope her into future narrations. Warg on Discord asked, how do you gather material for a project? Let's say you're going to narrate a story and use an artwork. Are you just going to use them and give credit, or do you ask the author or artist directly if you can use them? I'm going to talk mainly about the artists I've worked with, as I feel sometimes that the work these individuals put into their craft can be overlooked at times. There are some intensely creative people in the Warhammer community, and finding art pieces that consistently blow me away has never been a problem. I do have to give a special shout out to 2 artists in particular, who are not only happy about lending their artwork to a project, but actively want their work to be shared and used by other creators. Storykillinger and Dima Sokolov. All of their social links will be in the description, and I suggest you head over to their DeviantArt pages as soon as you possibly can. I have always reached out to these artists to ensure that they are happy for me to use their work as cover art or thumbnails, and they have been supportive of the channel and with featuring their art. Chaotic Voices, another fantastic YouTube narrator, has asked on Discord, what's your equipment and room like? At the moment I'm recording at home in a small room that I've commandeered from the family. I'm looking at adding soundproofing to the walls soon, and also want to purchase an audio-treated partition to help with eliminating sound reverberation, but I have to say that the Denoise VST from RX does a lot of the hard work for me, cutting out unwanted background and room noise. Attached to the height-adjustable FlexiSpot E8 desk that I use, I have my Rode Procaster microphone attached via a PSA Studio boom arm. For the first year of my YouTube channel I was using a Blue Yeti USB microphone. This microphone was great for the price and had a fantastic clear sound, but I found myself spending too much time in the editing process, as the Blue Yeti is notoriously sensitive to noise. The USB function was also causing electrical buzz that drove me crazy, so I decided to upgrade the microphone to a Rode Procaster. The dynamic XLR microphone is perfect for my voiceover work, as it has an internal pop filter, is broadcast quality and also comes with a 10-year warranty. So however much I abuse the microphone when playing World Eaters, I know Rode has always got my back. I have always used Reaper as my digital audio workstation. A lot of other voice actors I know use Audacity, but for some reason me and Audacity don't mix. With a little bit of learning, I have found Reaper to be the best for putting together audio dramas. It has a metric ton of effects that comes packaged with the software, and I only use these VSTs when creating voices such as
a servitor, an orc,
or
the Vox grill of a space marine.
For me personally, I believe this is the best product for the price if someone is thinking of diving into the voiceover or audiobook world. Finally, I just wanted to say thank you to everybody who has supported A Vox in the Void since its beginnings. Karak Norn Clansman for being the first person to allow me to use their writings. Mark Spark for giving me the opportunity to delve into Warhammer voice work with Death of Hope. Warsmith Alaric for always championing my narrations on Instagram. And the Amber King for inviting me to be a part of his journey as one of the best lore channels on YouTube. And thank you to all of my audience that send me messages of support every day. It's difficult to express just how important creating this channel was for a multitude of reasons, and having the chance to meet a truly wonderful community of like-minded people on YouTube and Discord has been inspiring. Here's to another 20,000 friends.